Welcome back to Linnets TV. Me, Sam Phillips. I'm joined by Runcorn manager Brad Cooke. Brad, thanks for joining us.
Hi mate, you okay?
Ironically, we spoke on Friday night after the Prescott game, and you said going forward it will click. And tonight, 7 goals. You were bang on.
Could have been more though. It could have been more. Really pulling what little hair I have out in the first half. Chances that we missed again. It's criminal at times. Thankfully, once the first one went in, it then opened the floodgates, didn't it? But it could have been a lot more. But the pleasing thing is that we've been getting in really good areas, and we've not been profiting from that. I thought our final ball, certainly second half, I thought some of the crosses into the boxes in the finishing and the build-up play was absolutely tremendous. So, yeah, it's clicked tonight, but there's still a lot more work to do. Certainly in front of goal as well, so we'll keep striving to be better.
Yeah, now we've spoken numerous times away from camera about Scott Bakkor, got himself a hat-trick tonight, but he gives you a dynamic that I don't think we've seen at Runcorn for a while, in the aspect of someone who's he just loves to be in the channel.
He's just a pain. He's just a pain. He's willing. He works extremely hard, and he wants to score goals. So as a number 9, you can't really ask for much more. And like I say, I think that there'll be times this season where, you know, him and Brookie, they'll really complement each other up there. They'll be a pain for certain teams, but that's, you know, we've got players that, you know, horses for courses, as they say. I think that we've got a squad that can adapt to, you know, a number of different scenarios and situations. We've seen that tonight where we played some really good stuff. And yeah, we've got some really good players.
Yeah, now he's been dubbed after that one the Welsh Messi. I think that's probably the best performance we've seen in a Runcorn shout out at Naeem Arsan. But it just shows, back to front, every single player that started or came on was sensational. How, I know it's a cliche question, but how important is that squad depth and strength going to be going into next Saturday in competitive football?
Massive. And we needed big performances from big players tonight. I said that before the game to him. Naeem's not been great in pre-season. Wally's not been great. Backs ain't been great. Miller, there's loads more. You know, you've seen 20% of the quality that's to come, and we've seen that tonight. And it's a long slog pre-season. You know, people take time out of the life. You know, getting no expenses, no money, it costs a lot. You know, people to be travelling 3 times a week to football and training, and hours on end. And you can tell now, you can sense that the season's close, because the big players turned up tonight, didn't they? And they needed to. So really pleased with Naeem. I thought he is what he is. It's nothing that we haven't already seen. He's a big player for us. And the same with Wally on the other side. I thought that when Wally come on, he just oozed quality. Millsy, I think everybody in the ground can see, you know, what a talent he is. So yeah, it's pleasing. Weren't happy with the first 15 minutes. I thought that we were sloppy. I thought that we were lazy. And that's got to be better, because if we start like that on Saturday, we'll be 2 goals down. It could be out of the FA Cup. So, you know, we've got to be better. As good as the result was, and it'll look nice for everybody. You know, there's still, you know, a lot of work to do for us to get to where we want to be at the end of the season.
Yeah, now, as you say, competitive football returns on Saturday. Does the structure of training or anything change now, going from pre-season to sort of the proper season, as they call it?
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to kind of keep the structure of training the same throughout the season. It'd be quite boring and repetitive come November, no doubt. But there's certain things that we want to work on, and we'll tailor parts of Thursday's session around Clitheroe and what we would expect to them and how we feel like we can hurt them. But yeah, everyone's just desperate to get going now. Like I said, it's a long stretch pre-season, and everyone wants that competitive games. And the big thing for us tonight was finishing on a high, giving the fans, you know, a show and some entertainment, give them something excited to go home about and look forward to this season. And I think that we've done that.
Yeah, I know you say about desperate to start. I know the 300 odd that were in the ground are desperate for proper competitive football to come back. Is there a message going into the season from yourself? This will be probably the last time we speak to you before the season actually starts. Have you got a message for the fans ahead of the season?
Yeah, thank you to everyone that come down tonight. Thank you to the pockets that I've seen at away games. The the support is unbelievable. I've said that since I walked in. We need to give them something to cheer about consistently, and that's what we're aiming to do. That's what I'm in the job to do. We feel like we've put a squad together that Runcorn can be proud of, and we need to make sure that we follow that through. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Stick with us. You know, we're all trying our best to get to where we want to be. But yeah, hopefully there's plenty more performances like that tonight, and Runcorn fans can go home happy a lot more than they did last season.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, Brad, and we'll speak to you again on Saturday.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.